Lake Superior Zoo is a new leader who hopes to bring more to the facility than just new animals.
Northern News Now's Ella Sherborough will learn more about the future of the zoo as they aim to bring in more visitors all year long.
The Lake Superior Zoo closed at 4, but tonight they're staying open after hours for trivia night. It's one of many initiatives that they hope will bring in visitors of all ages all year round.
Armed with beer and about as much animal knowledge as they can bear, dozens of people came out for the zoo's third ever trivia night at its new Porcupine Pub.
Just looking for things going on midweek. You know, this certainly stuck out as a very exciting, fun, cool thing.
It's one of many new events the zoo's new executive director is planning this year.
Offering more of that that's not just the traditional walking through the zoo experience, but also exploring the zoo in a different way with different activities as well.
Noah Hobbs, a former city councilor for Duluth, was interim director of the zoo last year. Before him, about a dozen other people took on the role in the last decade. He says the large turnover in directors started with the Duluth floods in 2012.
But specifically the zoo with the flood, going into COVID and recovering from all of that.
Now at the helm, he hopes to steer the Lake Superior Zoo down a new path.
You know, the more you're here, the more opportunities you have to learn about the world around you and become better educated.
And it's safe to say you can't go wrong combining lovable creatures and good company.
Enjoy company with friends in a cool area, get to look at some cute animals, and then have a beer or some snacks.
In Duluth, Ella Sherborough, Northern News Now.
And the zoo also plans to expand education programs, including their preschool and summer camps.